Swift just announced that they are going to allow cryptocurrencies on their network, and a lot of people are panicking and saying, does this disrupt Ripple and XRP? In this video, I want to break down my exact thoughts around that, as well as go over at the end of the video the XRP price chart. Guys, the SEC appeal did a ton of damage, but I want to talk about just how bad things got and what XRP needs to do to recover. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. I want to start this video off and break down the Swift news because a lot of people are talking about it, and I know it's probably a pretty confusing thing to see, especially off the back of the SEC appeal. A lot of people are saying it looks like the SEC is holding back Ripple and XRP so Swift can finally catch up. So what we learned is that starting next year, funny enough, next year, 2025, we are going to see cryptocurrencies live on the Swift network. Now, a lot of people are saying Ripple has been held back, XRP has been held back, Swift is now catching up. This is a massive issue moving forward. And guys, I think it's really important to understand that Swift does not have a cryptocurrency. So what cryptocurrency is going to be moving on the Swift network? Well, it's got to be fast, it's got to be efficient, and it has to have legal clarity. Right now, we only have XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum with legal clarity, and Bitcoin and Ethereum are slow. So unless Swift comes out with their own cryptocurrency, which they won't, I don't see what's so scary about this. I think it's possible that Swift actually has the XRP ledger or XRP moving on the Swift network without even Ripple potentially being involved, which is actually a really good thing for the XRP ledger. The other thing this does is it just accelerates the shift towards cryptocurrencies being integrated into the financial system. Guys, Swift is not a cryptocurrency company. Swift is not a blockchain company. They are not going to be able to build the things Ripple and the Ripple team and XRP community team can build. They are going to be far behind. They are not going to be able to build the things the Ripple team is going to be able to build. We saw this exact same thing play out in the electric car race. A lot of different car companies had a massive head start on producing cars. Ford, Toyota, all these different car makers. And a lot of people said they will beat anyone who tries to come into the electric car market. We see the same exact thing happen with Swift and Ripple. Swift had a massive competitive advantage on moving money. And a lot of people said no one's going to be able to disrupt Swift. But what Ripple did was they came out with a new product. They came out with a game-changing technology that was exponentially better than what Swift was offering. Now, it's still a much smaller market, cryptocurrency cross-border payments, than total payment volume when it comes to the movement of all money over all rails. But it's the same exact thing in the electric vehicle market to the automotive market. Electric vehicles are much smaller. But what is happening? Well, when it comes to electric vehicles, despite the fact that Toyota, Ford, all these different companies have much larger budgets, they have way more money to spend, they have much larger teams, they have better manufacturing, they cannot catch up to Tesla when it comes to electric vehicles. Why is that? Because they're not experts in creating electric vehicles. They are experts in creating internal combustion cars. And because of this, they can make electric vehicles, but they're nothing in comparison to the vehicles Tesla has been making. Now, a lot of people said Tesla would never be able to catch up. And once these other automotive companies started making electric vehicles, Tesla was going to be screwed. But that is not what has played out. And I think the same exact thing is going to happen here in the digital asset space. Swift is going to try to adopt digital assets, but I don't think they know what they're doing. I think they're going to fail. I think this is a JP Morgan coin announcement 2.0. They are going to say, oh, we have these things, but they're not going to know how to properly integrate it and make it useful. So I'm actually not worried about this at all. I think it's a good thing. I think it shows that digital assets are here to stay, and I think it shows that there's real world demand. I don't think anyone's going to care about Swift's knockoff product. And even if they do, I think Ripple's going to have a better one. So I don't think this is bad at all. In fact, I actually think it's a really good thing. And I'm not worried in the slightest about Swift actually adopting cryptocurrencies because I know Ripple's always going to have a better product. I know the XRP ledger is always going to be a leader in liquidity and a leader in the network effect. And ultimately, Swift is never going to have a cryptocurrency anyway, so they'll be forced to adopt things like XRP for whatever network they're building. Now, I want to move on and talk about the Ripple SEC case because there are a lot of things I didn't get to talk about in my video last night. But more specifically, I want to relay this to how it impacts the XRP price chart. We saw a massive drop in XRP, and I want to talk about just how impactful this is to XRP moving forward, what XRP needs to do to regain its momentum. We're going to talk about all of that, but I want to start off and just quickly go over a post by Jeremy Hogan because this post was absolutely fantastic. And I think every single person needs to see this. And if you have already seen it, you need to see it again because you've probably missed some very important details here. Jeremy Hogan said, initial thoughts on an SEC appeal. Big mistake by the SEC. It will appeal the programmatic sales ruling, and if it wins, it will get more money from Ripple and have protected no one. Ripple will raise its blue sky law issue, and if it wins, the SEC's ability to regulate the entire crypto space is essentially destroyed. Not a good calculation of risk by the SEC. This is an appeal by right. Therefore, the judge cannot reject the appeal. The SEC is very, very, very likely to lose, both statistically and based on the fact-heavy way Judge Torres wrote her opinion. Even if the SEC were to win on appeal, it's very, very likely just a matter of money. Nothing would change as to XRP as it's used by Ripple. In a couple weeks, we will know for sure what issues the SEC is appealing. It must file its full brief by mid-December, and we're likely not to know the outcome of this entire thing by late 2025, 2026, unless there's a change in the administration. Jeremy Hogan believes that could end this entire case outright. So I want to talk about some of the facts here that I didn't talk about yesterday and some of the things that we now got confirmation on that I talked about yesterday. First of all, this was a bad move by the SEC legally. Clearly, the SEC is putting themselves in a very tough position. They're pretty much only able to win more money. XRP is never going to be a security. That does not change because of this appeal. And the SEC, in a very, very, very unlikely scenario, might be able to make some headway on programmatic sales, but it doesn't even seem like that's going to happen. So the SEC is really just chasing more money here. What is the potential loss? Well, they could potentially lose regulatory authority or their power over any cryptocurrency company moving forward. That is the reason why I didn't think the SEC would appeal this case. Clearly, though, the SEC took that risk calculation and said, F it, we just want to slow down Ripple. Now, I still think it's possible the SEC is just doing all of this to get more money. It doesn't make sense, as Jeremy Hogan pointed out, from a logical standpoint, why the SEC would be pushing forward on a case where there's almost no upside. The SEC, in my opinion, may just be dragging Ripple through this to say, okay, give us more money, we'll settle this thing and move on, or just to drag Ripple through it and try to get more money on the other side. But as I talked about, the risk of the SEC losing here could be consequential for the agency, and I'm just not convinced they are going to take that risk. Maybe they are, but it seems shocking that they would. They have stronger cases in the Ripple SEC case. The other thing that I think here is very, very interesting is that Jeremy Hogan does believe new leadership at the SEC could also end this early. He said that we could actually see this entire case withdrawn if we did get a change in the administration, or we could get a settlement that is a lot more favorable than anything Gary Gensler would give us. So I believe all of this should make you guys very confident that, one, this is not going to hurt Ripple and XRP over the long run. Is it going to delay institutional adoption in the United States? Unfortunately, yes, I do think so. But I don't know if it's going to be that impactful because of how weak this case is. I don't think this is going to slow down any bull run for XRP. I think the smartest people in the room understand that this was a petty appeal and Ripple and XRP are going to come out victorious again. Jeremy Hogan specifically states that statistically and factually, the SEC, this is a lost cause for them. So I have never been more confident on Ripple and XRP moving through this appeal and hopefully quickly, but at least coming out on the other side of this with no long-term implications or damages to Ripple the company or XRP the token. Now, talking about damages, I quickly want to cover the XRP price chart because I know a lot of people saw the spike down in XRP and were worried. Guys, I want to show you this real quick. I think it's really important to understand XRP is still well within this formation, and according to this formation, it's almost like nothing happened. We have been waiting for XRP to break out of this thing. We've been waiting a very long time, but XRP hasn't broken out. We were hoping this case would be that upside surprise to let us break out. It wasn't. We crashed back down to the bottom, but it is still well within this formation. We are not seeing anything right now that is remotely concerning in terms of XRP breaking through it. And in fact, XRP actually found a pretty strong bottom here. XRP was much lower in July, and there was nothing bad happening in July. So while it seems like the market has really reacted to this negative news, well, it seems like the market is saying this is a really scary thing, this is really bad, the chart is just telling us that it's kind of just par for the course for XRP. It's just continuing to grind sideways in this consolidation pattern, and we still have a potential for a massive breakout to the upside. I did get cued in that there might be some interesting news on Friday in relation to an XRP ETF. We'll see if any of that plays out. I don't really know what to think about it yet. But the point I want to make is we are still in a perfect position for a positive catalyst to allow us to break out of the upside. The bad news would have been if XRP broke out the bottom of this thing. If XRP started crashing below 45 cents and we just saw a free fall, that would have been horrible. But the XRP price chart is saying that we're not really that worried about this appeal. It's just further delay, and we're still in a massive consolidation pattern that is going to send this thing ripping. So overall, I hope this gives you a better perspective on a lot of the FUD going around the market right now. Guys, there is no question in my mind that things would have been way, way better right now if this thing did not get appealed, whatever. But the fact of the matter is Ripple has never been in a better position moving forward. XRP is not going to be affected. XRP is not a security, and Ripple is continuing to land massive partnerships. A couple big ones today I didn't even have time to get into because I thought these things were more important. But guys, don't get shaken out. We're going to win this thing. I have never been more confident of it. And when this is said and done, guys, I think a lot of us might actually be a little happy we had some extra time for accumulation. Thank you so much for coming, and for now, Mickle out.